We're going to talk about, you know what, actually, as our song plays underneath us, I know a lot of people are upset with the no more hail to the Redskins, right? No much, that doesn't play after touchdowns. Mm-hmm. The ODC, right? The DC song that plays after touchdowns.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is actually really catchy, and my kid's been singing it all day.
Attaboy, Gavin.
We did it a lot.
One time.
We did it a lot in the first half.
What do you mean a lot?
You did. We had 3 turnovers. You had a touchdown. You had a couple field goals. Yeah, first half we were doing it quite a bit. Second half, not so much.
Very, very, very disappointing. But hey, we're gonna get that out here on the show. It's Day After Reckoning, right here with Ref the District.
Thomas is in. Touchdown, Washington. Lofting one. He's got a man. It's McLaurin in stride. Touchdown, Washington. Hands it back. Chase Young. They're chasing him down the sideline. And Chase Young has a Washington touchdown.
And he does he's just like, come on. That makes you laugh every time.
That deserves a wow.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Day After Reckoning. Chief Concerns here with Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. With me, as always, so you can actually see their names as well on the YouTube. We got Trevor.
What's up?
Very muted, Trevor.
Very muted.
Yeah. Hey, we lost again.
So we stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every day after the Washington football team plays. Win, lose, or just heartbreaking to play whatever, we're going to be here. And we'll also be on all your audio platforms. We got a raised hand by Trevor already.
You gotta get all the stuff out first.
So before we even get into DAR,
right.
remember I was talking before the show.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge, since you guys are both military guys too as well, the passing of General Colin Powell this morning. 84 years old due to COVID complications. I just kind of think that we should just give a little moment of silence and honoring Colin Powell and what he did, especially for you guys too, since you guys are military guys. So that was what I was wanting to talk about. So I think we should do that right now. All right.
Very nice.
I don't want to drag it out, but yeah, that's all I want to say.
So. Yeah, shout out. No, that's nice. Colin Powell's just a huge figure, both in the military and then politically there for a while. May rest in pease.
Absolutely.
All right.
There's no great transition here. Yeah. No great transition off of that one.
Sorry.
Ref the District is sponsored by Pacers Running. We got more information coming from them to include our actual sponsor showing up today. And that's right. You too can show up today. The phone lines are open. If you're frustrated, angry, resigned, all you have to do is DM us. That's either on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll shoot you out a link. You can join the show live with us. Let us know your frustrations and just let us have it. So make sure that you know that those phone lines are open and call us. Call me maybe. All right, Jen.
And this is crazy. So here's my number. So call me maybe. Stoner. Come on.
Stoner's
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh!
He has one. He finally has one.
All right. Well, I'll start it off. I got a word for yesterday. From the time we woke up to the time you left the stadium or turned off the TV if you were at home or if you were there, total embarrassment. From the ceremony to the play on the field.
That was pretty bad.
It's embarrassing, guys. It's embarrassing.
Let's talk before. Let's actually get to the game. Let's go ahead and let's
get this out of the way.
The Sean Taylor stuff here. Okay, so you'll see my towel is actually hanging behind me already.
Yeah,
it's part of the wall. You'll see that there's nothing on that towel that commemorates the moment. at all. It doesn't say anything about the jersey being retired. It doesn't say anything about the Chiefs game. It doesn't say anything. It's literally just a towel that says 21 and Sean Taylor's name. That's it. Okay.
That's awful.
They rededicated the road, and they took a photo, the official photo to this, not just like them just taking a photo. They rededicated this road, and the photos in front of Porta Johns.
Yep. Visible Porta Johns.
Okay.
Prominent.
You have the 21 that is painted on the field, and then you make that your VIP section.
Yep.
Which then Jackson Mahomes decides he's going to do a TikTok and dances all over it. Of course, upsetting and angering everybody. I didn't particularly have a problem with this, but some people had problems with this. Dan Snyder is in a hoodie.
He wears a hoodie all the time. That's his thing, I think.
It's a football game, guys. What do you want him? Like, I don't need him to be in a business suit. You know, okay, it's a special moment. I get that.
Yes.
Wearing a suit for this occasion probably would have been nice, or at least wear something that said Sean Taylor on it. But whatever. People are going to get upset about that regardless. If he showed up dressed in like $9,000 shoes, or suit, people would have been upset with that. Yeah, of course he's got it. So, I mean, what did I miss anything?
Hold on. Yes, you did.
The actual ceremony was like 10 seconds long.
And nobody was even, I heard and saw on Twitter, there was no recognition. Nobody from the family or anybody like on the field, like a part of the team, spoke about it. Did Jason Wright speak at it?
No, nobody spoke.
It was about as long.
Look,
you mentioned the military service just before, right? It was about as long as those military service breaks that they have, where they're like, hey, here's A1C Snuffy, here's his Black Rifle coffee or something like that. That was it. That was essentially the gist of the entire ceremony on the thing.
That's just embarrassing, man.
Whether or not you believe Jason Wright and the Washington football team on that they've planned this out for months, this certainly did not help that case.
No. I mean, Gabe Taylor went on Twitter and said, I appreciate the Washington football team family, but I feel like that was an obligate, he was forced to tweet that. Because how could he really be appreciative about the way we treated Sean Taylor and the rest of his family yesterday? It's just embarrassing and pathetic. Last minute, it's just...
I'm sure there was more stuff that they did, behind the scenes, and of course at the locker and stuff like that. Some things that were said, and everyone's, of course, is very appreciative. I mean, you have pictures of Landon Collins talking to Sean's daughter.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sure that that there was a lot of great moments for them, but overall, for what you would expect, it just wasn't there.
No.
And then tack on the fact that the team then does honor him by letting the Chiefs score 21 unanswered points.
Yeah.
In the second half.
I'm telling you,
you just have people who are angry, man. You just have people that are angry and they want to let it out.
Yeah. Stoner, you've been kind of quiet. I'm ready for some smoke, dog. Bring it. How you feeling?
In regards to the Sean Taylor situation, it was obvious that it was all set up last minute to try and deflect from what was going on earlier in the week. And if they had any ounce of self-awareness of that email scandal, they could have gotten through that email scandal without too much of an issue, because you were talking about a former employee and the
don't even work here
biggest,
no more.
Yeah, the biggest eyes, or the most eyes, were on John Gruden and a former Washington football team employee. They could have got through with that without too much issue. So they botched it at every spot. However, I think that the Sean Taylor family, I think that they were moved at some points. They were moved and they were appreciative of what the Washington football team was doing for Sean, in honor of Sean. Was it this grand ceremony where they were doing all kinds of stuff? No. But they were moved and appreciative of the whole thing.
That's all that matters too, right?
And that's all that should matter. This is not about the fans.
No.
This is about the family.
Yes.
And recognizing his value to past in the history of this organization. So I'm not so upset about all of that stuff. But it adds up. Every spot, it adds up, and it piles on top of each other until it just becomes unbearable, and you see people leaving for the Vegas Raiders fandom or New Orleans Saints fandom, or I just
Baltimore
can't
Ravens
or whatever. They just leave. And I'll never tell anybody how to be a fan. I would never do that. But if that's how they feel so strongly, then go for it. But they botched it at every move except for the way that the family felt about it. Well, Jazzy's saying that they looked annoyed, but watch the whole thing. When his daughter was moved to tears
for sure
over the tribute video they played.
Yeah.
She was moved to tears.
Well,
So,
maybe she was moved to tears
call
at the
that
video.
annoying.
Maybe she was moved at the video, but not by the ceremony and how it took place. Like maybe just the video made her do that, clearly.
Sure. But she would not have felt that if they hadn't done that.
But to not have the team president not even say 5 words during the ceremony at halftime, you just think you get away with it by using Twitter to speak your mind?
Or Tanya Snyder or somebody now.
Yeah,
I wonder
it's just
visually, I wonder if the part of that was they didn't want to put themselves there because they didn't want to take from the moment. Yeah. But now all of a sudden you just have just an even bigger PR mess for themselves where
that's them not being able to get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Right? They think one thing and it comes off completely different.
And
that's just a sign of a bad organization.
You know what? That's a great segue into the game. You know, our coaches are thinking one thing, but they're telling the public and showing on the field something completely different. Great segue, Stoner. Let's get to the game. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. I love you to death, bro.
Yep.
Rep 2-1 forever.
My Sean Taylor today.
I got you behind me.
That's right.
Yeah, but now it's time to talk about the abomination. Yep. That's nice. Little. But now let's talk about the field play or lack thereof.
Yeah, and by the way, don't parse the words of the head coach when he's doing a press conference. He just has to say whatever he has to say to get through to the next day. Whatever he says.
Dan Campbell went on there and said Jared Goff needs to step up and play better and be a better leader.
Okay, that's his style. That's his style. Ron Rivera
used to be Ron's style.
Ron Rivera will never throw a player under the bus. He's just that's not who he is. He's never done it before. He's never going to do it.
You could be the guy you were in Carolina. I know you guys have seen that video surfacing on Twitter where he's in the locker room.
That's behind the scenes, Trevor.
That's the kind of Ron we need. We need that.
How do you know he's not doing that?
Because he said he needs to change his approach.
Right. So, but maybe he is lighting guys up in the locker room, and maybe he needs to change that approach.
Bro, I think
you don't know.
Softer. I think he's gotten softer. I've seen press conferences when he's gotten a little more mad than
what he's
showing. Has he ever thrown anybody speaking of him being mad at press conferences, okay? Today's press conference, he was pretty jovial. He was laughing it up. He was nice and things. This is he was kind of very disgruntled the last 2 or 3 weeks, and now he's just it seems
my theory behind that is that they knew in last February when the schedule came out, they knew they were losing to Kansas City.
No, they didn't.
They've known it for 8 months that they were going to lose this game. So you lose this game so you can process it better. They did not expect to lose to New Orleans, and that pisses a coach off when this is a game that they should have won against New Orleans. Against Kansas City.
I honestly think Ron believes they were 4 to 5 plays away from beating New Orleans.
And they probably were
4 to 5 plays. You're right. 4 to 5 plays go different, but that's any game really is 4 to 5 plays that are different. Yeah. Look at Scott Turner calling that ridiculous 3rd and short play. Mm-hmm. Like your running backs are averaging more than 4 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. It's a 3rd and short situation. Don't
run a read option with Taylor.
Why are we doing a bubble screen? Like what in the world's going on here?
However,
him and his
make a better pass.
Yeah, I know.
So he doesn't have to reach down on one
Ron,
knee just to get it. Make a better pass.
Put
him in a
zero
position.
Bliss. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was on Taylor.
A lot of it was on Taylor.
Was it a shaky call? Probably. But if he had executed, he probably would have got it.
That's why I want people to stop coming for Scott Turner so much, because all he does is call plays. He doesn't actually like get to run them. So it's really not his fault. Yeah, maybe he's calling the wrong plays at the wrong times. Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
he went away from the run. He went away from the run.
Bro,
you're up 13-10.
He definitely did.
You're up 13-10 against an offense that can score in bunches and in a hurry, which they did.
Yeah.
And again, your running backs are having a pretty good game.
Yep.
And you just
got
away from it. And that's the stuff that gets you fired. And I agree. I think Scott Turner's been calling pretty good. I mean, come on, look at this preview. Okay, for our Chief Concerns preview video, I said that this offense has the ability to keep up with Kansas City, especially because Kansas City's defense is so bad, and then they lay an absolute.
We scored 13 points against the worst defense in the league scoring wise. 13 points,
all in the first half. Nothing in the second.
Missed a field goal, by the way, and he ain't off the hook for that. I don't care if he made the first two. He's not off the hook for that, bro. You've got to be better, Dustin Hopkins, because not only is it not getting 3 points, you're sending a message to the team as like, damn, I have one job to do. I can't even do that. It demoralizes the team. It kills the momentum. It provides momentum for the other team, and then it just trickles down after that. And we saw that yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair.
It's ridiculous.
But good teams overcome that. Okay, good offenses.
We know Washington's not a good team, right?
Good teams make 40-yard field goals, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't. We got that kid M right from Jacksonville who hit a 55-yarder or something like that to win the game in London. Oh, remember Dustin Hopkins' last game in London?
Okay, but what I'm saying is they had a punter who had a 16-yard punt.
Okay.
And they overcame that because their defense stopped us.
Tressway overcomes his mistakes. Well, Dustin Hopkins doesn't.
I'm talking about the rest of the team has to pick him up because he's not going to go 35 for 35 on field goals and extra points. Nobody does.
He can go 3 for 3 at least.
The good teams overall overcome those mistakes by by the other
You're right.
They can't overcome it.
But damn, are we tired of doing that?
Of course we're tired. We're tired of losing. We hate losing.
Yeah. No one wants to lose. Bro. We could have been up 16-10. Who knows what would have happened after that?
Yeah.
You know. Who knows?
We would have lost 31-16.
That looks better than 31-13, though.
It does. It really does. But then I wouldn't have been able to make the 21.
True.
The joke. Then you're talking about overcoming them, right? Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why we have such a hard time.
No, ain't no we to this. It's you.
Card it up. That was a good one. Card it up.
Anyway,
just say 15.
Free real estate. He throws 2 picks.
Yeah.
In the first half.
Right.
And the defense, again, this much maligned defense.
Yep.
Only gives up 13 points.
Right.
They overcome
10 points.
That second one.
Yeah.
That second one was just absolutely awful. That second pick that Mahomes threw.
Oh, the avoiding the sack and he just threw it up.
To avoid the sack where
I was like, yo, we've got him rattled. We let's go. And what we do? 3 and out.
Laid an egg.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wouldn't. This reminded me a lot of the very first game, the Chargers game, where we only gave up, how many points did we give up to the Chargers? 20? Was it 20-16 was that game? Whatever it was.
Yep.
And people were like, oh, that game was so close. The Chargers went up and down the field on us all day, but would make mistakes like in the red zone or whatever. And it was the same thing with the Chiefs. Obviously, they rolled up 500 yards.
Yes.
Went up and down the field on us. And then they would make these critical mistakes. They had 3 turnovers, 2 of them in the red zone or very close to the red zone. I don't know that second one was in the red. whatever, it's close enough. Just absolutely critical mistakes, and they still put up 31 on us. Imagine if they had not.
Part of that is the defense coming up big in those moments.
Those were not defensive plays. Those were not defensive plays.
Oh, that second interception absolutely was a defensive
because Mahomes dropped the ball.
He threw that up for no damn reason,
and then he just threw it up.
It's that or a sack, guys. He's either way. Either way, the defense comes up big. Did it not? The defense pushed him into a position where he made a bad decision.
Okay. Yes. Okay. There you go. There you go. We made him have a bad decision. Yes.
You're right.
I like the way you put that. Yes.
All right.
But also
came up big.
But also, I love Chase Young to death, but bruh, just play football. There's no need to make a celebration, quieting the crowd after your one and only sack.
Yeah, quieting the home crowd, by the way.
Yeah, like don't. I love you, Chase, bro. It's no shade to you if you're listening or if your family's listening, but in order to make people be quiet, you just play better. And then if you've got like 4 or 5 sacks, then you can do this. You touch Mahomes once.
Well, he did actually push him over. He had a good game. Mahomes wanted. He had a
good game. He did. But
look at TJ Watt's numbers from yesterday. What did he have? He had 2 sacks.
His contract or
three
strips. I don't know.
3 tip balls.
Yeah.
4 tackles for losses. I mean, he wreaked havoc, and that was his game.
Can Kendall Fuller catch a ball, please?
Right.
There's a reason why he plays
that's thrown
defense.
to him. That's thrown right to him.
There's a reason why he plays defense. If he could catch, he would be playing offense.
These miscues kill our momentum, you guys, because we had him on the ropes right then and there. It was a nice, like a real pick instead of a tip pass pick or a lollipop pass pick. It had a chance to be a real pick.
That Hill one, I'll give you guys, was not the defense. That was all Hill just going. The ball went right through his hands. And, Washington was there, but it had less to do with Washington being there, more to do with the fact that you have 2 quality players that just messed up.
And can we?
Oh, go ahead, Trev.
Can we get to the point of Taylor Heineke disconnecting with 17 all day?
Not connecting with
not connecting. That's just
it was Heineke wasn't connecting with anybody. So I don't know what to say about Heineke, but before we finish, I do have to give my admission.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
We'll get to that before we end, but we got people coming in who we want to talk to, but I know who's coming in to talk here. We've had some dust-ups on Twitter recently, so I'm looking forward to talking.
We got some smoke coming?
Yeah, we got some
smoke
coming, so I'm
Let's
ready.
Bring in the smoke. Bring in the smoke.
All right. Well, if you want to bring your own form of smoke, let us know. You can just DM us either on Facebook or Twitter. We'll send you a link, and then you can join us. We have our first guest, our first call-in for the night. You guys might be familiar with his voice. Don't get to see him as much as we would like, so we're definitely going to make this man the big screen here. This is LE from the Washington Football Team Declassified Podcast. Thanks, LE, for calling in.
No, there's beef now. We got Twitter beef. What's happening?
Well, to be fair, to kind of set it up, and this is going to go into what we're going to talk about later, but I did kind of a little bit of a troll tweet, and I said basically I would trade Sweat, Allen Payne, McLaurin, Gibson, Cos. I'd trade everybody.
I would like for everyone now to understand that was Stoner.
That was me.
And he did not represent the entire podcast. With his thoughts on that one. But we encourage using our platform to, to engage with people. That particular one, I was working. I had nothing to do with it.
Me neither.
But I started off by saying this is just a hot take alert. So I'm letting everybody know that it's not real, but I'm just trying to make a point that you have to do whatever it takes to get your franchise quarterback. And that might mean getting rid of some important players. And Ellie was not happy with what I had to say there. What is your plan for the quarterback position going forward?
Well, first I'll tell you like this: if that trade goes down, I'll ride that Peloton behind me down to Houston to sign the contract as well. It's not happening, but look, I'm on board with the premise of what you said, and I got where you were going. You caught me at a moment where I was getting a lot of hate on Twitter because I was like, "Yeah, Ron ain't getting it done right now." But you got to do whatever. I mean, you can't get crazy like trade everybody, but like we're at the point now where everybody has to be on the verge of accepting that TH is not going to be this come from nowhere success story that a lot of people were hoping that he was going to be. And I get it. You got to give it a shot, and we're allowed to have hope. And people are allowed to have hope. But it's over. I don't know how to tell you, but it's over.
Yeah.
But
Thank
you got it. Enough is enough. And I think I said this on Twitter too. Like, we got to be done with the bargain bin shopping for quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Right. There's a few things in life you don't get from the bargain bin. You don't get your steaks from the bargain bin. You don't get your wife from the bargain bin. You get somebody you love, and don't get your quarterbacks from the bargain bin. Look, I like good stories. I like them in my movies, not on the football field. We need blue chips. Give me a blue chipper.
Right. Mm-hmm. What is that? What do you think that means? Does that mean you have to go all in for an Aaron Rodgers, or does that mean you have to go all in for the 5th pick, whoever the quarterback is coming out of college?
Bro, my problem with Aaron Rodgers or anybody else is in a couple years you're going to be in the exact same spot all over again, right? Yeah. Like if we're rebuilding right now, how much are you going to change this team in the offseason to not be rebuilding when Aaron Rodgers gets here? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Ron Rivera's approach to free agency has been very conservative. And say what you want about William Jackson. They spent a little bit of money on him, but he didn't get top tier cornerback money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got Curtis Samuel, but he didn't get top tier wide receiver money.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a bargain for mid to high tier, talent. Like, so if you like, wrestling has a term like mid carders, right? And then you have like your main eventers. Mm-hmm. We got mid card guys, right? Guys that kind of fill the middle of the show. They're good, but they are not what you want in like your main event guys. We need main event guys. If we're going to go out and get Aaron Rodgers, you got to surround him with main event guys. And I don't know that you can do that in a single offseason. So by that point, when you're ready, he's going to be 40. You don't know what's going to go on mentally. I like the concept. I just don't think the execution is going to be able to be behind that. Long story short, you have to do this in the draft, and you got to live with what you got to live with to make it happen, because I'm tired of we get a little bit of spark, but something's missing, and then we try to address that something's missing, and then the spark goes out. You know what I mean? It's like you're chasing one and losing the other. Go get the guy in the draft. We got 3 general managers right now in this organization. They whiffed on free agency. At least as far as it is right now, that could all change. Make no mistake. But you got to go get the guy, and it needs to be through the draft. I don't know nothing about any of these college quarterbacks. I don't watch a lot of college football. I can't tell you who that is. Yeah, but same. I know this dude that we get next, or girl, you never know. Whoever it is needs to be like super mobile. Don't give me anybody in the pocket just hanging. I mean, how can you watch what Dak does and be like, I'm cool with the mobile guy? I mean, a non-mobile guy. Lamar, Josh Allen, Herbert.
Keep going.
Mahomes. Mobility is right. It's killing the game right now. Yeah. We need that, because what mobility allows you to do is not be perfect at everything else, right? And too long we've had quarterbacks that have to be perfect at everything else because they're not mobile, and it screws it all up. You saw it in 2012. We had mobility. Robert wasn't great at passing. We killed everybody because his mobility was a difference maker. That's all I want.
And it made his passing look better. Like that's what they said with Lamar Jackson. He wasn't the quarterback, he's a running back. Okay, we did that coming out, and now he's showcasing his arm. Because people are kind of notice that they can't figure out his running because they can't stop him, but they know that's what he does first and foremost. And
mobility buys you time in the pocket, and it buys you time in the league to grow.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Well done, Ellie. I appreciate you coming on.
Twitter beef solved.
Yeah.
Yo,
we all know
on the Twitter streets.
Yeah, we all know it's from a place of love, though, and we're
we're
just kind of going back and forth.
You got it.
We appreciate you jumping on with us, LE. You can catch LE on Washington Football Team podcast, Declassified podcast, wherever you listen to your your platform here. We got a very special guest coming in. I'm just going to stay large because I think that if I add this man to the stream, he'll be
go
he's
right
not
in.
going to be.
No, it doesn't work that way.
He takes the small part that you took. What up, Chris?
Yeah.
How we doing?
Good. You guys hear me okay? Did I
absolutely
correctly? Everything good?
Yeah. So Stoner, who are we talking to right now?
Yeah, we got Chris Farley. Chris Farley from Pacers Running, who is the new sponsor for Ref the District. Super excited to have Chris here. He is the owner and he is also the I know him just peripherally because we're both big Sports Junkies fans. So that's kind of how we know each other and how we've kind of made this little connection. Thank you so much for sponsoring us, but thank you for coming on to talk a little bit. If you want to talk a little bit about Pacers Running before we talk Washington football.
Oh man, Chris, thank you so much. This marries a couple of my passions, sponsoring you guys, and I'm going to get all of you guys into running. We're going to talk about fitting you in shoes, and we're going to get out. We're going to get you out there. We're going to change your lives, each end of and your listeners' lives.
Yeah.
Stop with Pacers Running. I'm a lifelong Washingtonian. Lived in Arlington all my life. Huge fan of the Washington football team, the Washington Redskins, and we have our business here in town. Family owned and operated. My family bought an existing store in 2003. My parents mortgaged their house. Craziest thing they ever did. We bought one store. Fortunately, it was successful, and we've grown to 6 stores across the DC and Virginia area. And, as you guys will find out as you go through the process, we are specialty running, but we fit you in shoes that are just comfortable. So running shoes, walking shoes, anything to just get you out and active. That's what we specialize in. We really are passionate about that. We're really a community-based business where you come into our stores or you go on our website, and we're going to be able to kind of give you a service that is really, truly life-changing. We can get you in a pair of shoes that, it's going to not hurt your feet or your knees, your hips. You always feel like, I'm not a runner because of my knees, or I can't do it because of my injuries. Well, let us help you be a solution. So, you come into our stores, you go on our site, and we're going to fit you in a good pair of shoes that is going to get you out there, and exercise will absolutely change your life. I'm serious. I proved it with, Chris, you listened to the Sports Junkies, proved it with a couple of them. JP Flame is running the New York City Marathon next month with me, and excited about that. So thrilled to be a sponsor. Thank you guys for thinking of me, and I'm excited when you guys get yourselves out there running and walking.
Well, we appreciate you sponsoring for us, and we each have had our virtual fittings. That was a really awesome experience. So if you want to, you haven't done yours yet? Come on, Trevor, man.
I need to do mine. I keep missing my.
He's scheduled. He just forgot his a couple of times. I thought he got his in today, but apparently not. So the virtual fittings, awesome experience. My wife did hers. I did mine. Already bought the shoes, waiting for those to come in the mail. But it was great to be able to talk to somebody who's very well educated both on the product and how to run and make sure that you're doing what's right for you. Because you mentioned,
it makes such a difference, man. I mean, I think like everything is so transactional and we want to be a service, like high level of service, white glove. If you have any issues, come and see us, we'll talk you through anything and everything running or exercise related.
Well, so that begs the question, Chris, are you running towards the Washington football team?
Here we go. That's what I want to get into.
Team.
I love the shoes and running, but let's get to business, Chris. What'd you see yesterday? What do you think about yesterday,
man? I was all in, and I can't remember a season as frustrating as this one, just because expectations were so high, obviously, and I am running away, and I am selling on the team. I just am so frustrated by their lack of. I mean, you guys talk about it, a lack of ability to get off the field on third down. Just the offense. I just felt like what I saw yesterday was just so unimaginative, and I feel like just didn't take any chances. I felt like, the three turnovers in the first half, we got to capitalize. And you knew what was coming. You knew what was coming.
Yeah.
For them not to be able to capitalize. I'm just sitting there and I'm just feeling like a fool because when it doesn't happen, I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to think of best case scenario. I'm a positive guy. I'm trying to think of best case scenario. And then you knew what was coming.
You try to be positive, but
I can't believe I'm this emotionally invested in this game. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I can't believe they fooled me again.
Right.
I'm yelling at my wife and kids, and it's just like, what am I doing? Get a life.
Every Sunday.
I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm sure your listeners are frustrated. I'm sure you guys are frustrated, but I don't know. I don't have any answers. It just doesn't look good, and it doesn't look like there's any positive answers here.
It looks like the same thing. Like you said, maybe we had hope at the beginning of the year and that was different, but I mean, it's the same thing for the last 20 plus years, 20 to 25 years. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but I feel like this year hurts a little more, like Chris said, because we have
the expectations.
Yeah, we have the players that can do what we need them to do.
Yeah.
But it's just not translating for some reason.
And for me, I'm just disappointed, like that I got my hopes up with. I mean, Heineke is who he is. I felt like, I was part of the group who was like, okay, let's give this guy a shot, and the upside is there, and it's just he is who he is, and that's for me. The last couple of games has been so disappointing, just to come to the realization that he's not the guy.
No.
We were I was just hoping against hope that maybe every single GM and every single scout missed on him, and now it's like, of course they didn't miss on him.
This was going to be the Kurt Warner.
I wanted it to be. Maybe he could be the Kurt Warner, and he's just not, and it's just not going to be that, and so it's just more disappointing. This league is predicated on good quarterback play.
Yep,
we just
absolutely
don't have it, and it's just like and so. He's not the guy. Fitz is going to be who he is. And it's just like, well,
here we are again.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what is it? Where is where's
I don't know.
hope, and that's the biggest thing for me too, is that it's not only this is a lost season, but there's no hope for the, I don't know.
He's done.
Yeah. I'm giving my football takes, and I'm just complaining. You brought me in for my running energy, not my football takes.
It's for both.
We're all just a fan. That's
just
one of our slogans is be a fan. You're just a fan. Hey, we're just fans as well. We don't have the answers, but we do like to talk it out. We appreciate you joining us, Chris.
Well, thank you so much.
And hopefully we'll get you running to a Washington football team.
I like it.
Sometime in the near future. Probably not this week though. The Packers is going to be another brutal game.
No, it's going to be another brutal one. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Love the show. Appreciate being a sponsor. RunPacers.com. Check us out in our 6 locations, and really, really excited to be a part of this and getting this relationship with you guys going. Thank you so much.
Man, that's awesome.
Looking forward to my shoes.
Yeah, they're coming too. I saw that order come in. Brooks are awesome. My wife works for Brooks. Love the Brooks.
Yeah,
good. I'm looking forward to it. I'll tell you this as we're plugging Pacers running one last time here. One of the things I appreciated during the virtual fitting, your guy, you talk about the white glove treatment. He walked me through several different shoes, and he did not try to upsell me. Right? He's not trying to. They're not going to try to sell you the most expensive shoes they have out there. They're going to sell you the shoes that are right for you.
That's right.
And so for me, I'm not a guy, especially I got runner's knee in both knees right now. I'm not a north-south runner. So he's just like, let me get you in something that's a little bit more cross training, run around with your kid type style. And hey, looking forward to the Brooks.
All right. That's awesome, man. Thanks
again. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, Chris, for joining.
Guys. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we're going to keep the phone lines are open. We're going to take in George right now. How's it going, George?
Hey, What's up, fellas? How you guys doing, man? What's going on?
Another Monday, another loss.
Another misery Monday, guys. Another misery Monday. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Trying to shake off the stink from yesterday and kind of talk about it on here.
Let's change it up a little bit, George. What did you see yesterday that you liked? Was there anything that happened that you liked on the field?
That's a good question on the field. So I think our offensive line is actually showing some life. I'm actually pretty happy with so far. So I actually brought this conversation today at work, and we had talking to my coworkers. I posed a question. I said, "What does Washington do right now?" Kind of very negative, and we're kind of the run game and all that. It's kind of we're still having a conversation, and it's like I do think our offensive line is doing pretty well. I think they're overachieving, right? Like as their defense, our defensive line's performing well the past couple of weeks. Altogether, I'd say they're underachieved. They had the first round talent, so they're stepping back. But I do think our offensive line is protecting Taylor Heineke. I do think he has some time back there. So I am happy with that. I think our special teams is starting to, beside Dustin Hopkins, I know how Trevor feels about him, but basically,
Trevor
like all
loves
together
himself some D-Hop.
across the league, I'm not a proponent for Dustin Hopkins, but across the league, he isn't awful. But DeAndre Carter is actually providing a spark, which I'm pretty happy with that too. Like he had that kick return is showing something there. Truss Way is our leading tackler on defense and also a great punter as well. Truss Way's been doing a good job. So special teams is doing okay, and I do see if you want to throw one more, Ricky Seals-Jones is doing decent. For Logan Thomas is doing pretty good there, but altogether, that's kind of my positives. I wish there was more to say, but altogether, I think we are kind of average or subpar across the board, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think that Washington, the football team line, the offensive line is a big thing to have some positive takes for. I mean, they're missing Sheriff, and the fact that they have not missed a beat is pretty important because Sheriff probably isn't with this team next season.
I agree.
As much as he's said, I want to stay in Washington, I want to stay in Washington. You don't sign back-to-back franchise tags and then sign a big deal. And this guy's an all-pro. Some team's going to pay him some,
but he's hurt a lot.
He has
My
been
man's hurt a lot.
But when he's on the field, he's a difference maker. But if we can get by without him, things will be just fine, I think, for the offensive line. Now, what you do behind the offensive line is another matter. And then we talked a little bit about this as well. Running the football, they're getting the space, and the running backs are getting some yards. But the offensive play calling went away from the run. What did you think about that, George?
That was a pretty hot topic on Twitter yesterday. So I think, going into the game, I think that was the game plan. I think, any smart, creative offensive coordinator would be like, keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, dictate the pace of the game by running the ball. And I thought they did a pretty good job. Antonio Gibson has been nicked up for quite a while now, and I think they were trying to rely on him, but you could just tell he wasn't the exact person that we've seen, previous years and how things are going. But I did like the fact that J.D. McKissick he actually had a little pop to him. I don't know if he felt the same way. Looking at the touches, I think in regard to running, at least, I think Antonio Gibson had 10 carries while J.D. McKissick had 8. And I thought J.D. McKissick looked more explosive of the two yesterday. I don't think that's like indicative of like who they are, but as of yesterday, they look pretty well. Altogether, and I actually want to talk to you guys about it because I think some of you were at the game. Like I sat at home this week, so I kind of saw my perspective of it. We just seemed very conservative. We kind of seemed like we were kind of throwing the ball short, like, air yards weren't very deep, probably 4 to 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, a lot of screen plays. But I think Stoner, you might have brought it up. Like I heard that the wide receivers were running free on the back end, and there were some pretty big plays that were open. Do you guys agree to that? I want to hear your perspective. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot left out on the field, and it did seem like they just. I think honestly what it was Scott Turner wanted to try to do this, and this is what is maddening, right? With the running back numbers, they were able to get yardage there. They were eating up the clock, and I think a lot of that dinking and dunking, kind of like what we saw with Alex Smith last year, was all designed to keep Patrick Mahomes off of the field. And it somewhat worked, except it didn't, right? They still racked up 200 yards, and then they didn't put up points, and that was the problem. And so I felt like there was a lot of opportunities that they just left out there. Even McLaurin came out and said, hey, we had them beat on the cloud coverage. We just
and one-on-ones. And because I saw a stat, it said Taylor Heineke was 2 for 11 on throws over 20+ yards yesterday.
Right.
So we took some shots, but we just he can't do it.
It's a delicate balance, right? Like, when you definitely want to control the ball and kind of dictate the pace of the game, but at the same time, when you're playing a superior opponent, you have to go for that juggler, those kill shots every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of I forget what the game script kind of is lost for me now, but I think it was in the third quarter. Maybe it might have been the second quarter, but like it was a 4th and short. We could have easily have gone for it, but we decided to kick it, and we actually missed the field goal. And Kansas City just went down the field and scored a touchdown in our face. And in my opinion, we were down by double digits. It was game over at that point, right?
Well, to kind of give them a pass on that.
Why?
They were at like 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
And then they threw that
awful
pass
play
to Humphreys.
That's great, yeah.
And they lost 4 yards. So now you kind of lost a little momentum.
Yeah.
And then okay, let's go ahead and kick this now. That didn't go well. Let's go ahead and kick it.
Never.
I agree.
Well.
They got too cute there, right? We were talking about maintaining the run game, right? On the 3rd and 2, just bury it, make it 4th and inches, and see what happens after that, right? So I think that was just being too cute right there.
I have a question. Why haven't we inserted the read option yet with Taylor Heineke, since he loves to run and use his legs?
He's too tiny, man. He's too tiny.
Russell Wilson.
You're going to see more of that against Green Bay.
I think you're going to hurt.
That's a good prediction.
Ron Rivera flip-flopped. He's on a teeter-totter right now, and he's on the other side of this teeter-totter because Ron said, I need Taylor Heineke to be a game manager. And then today he comes out and says, he's playing a little too conservative, going through his reads. We need him to be a little bit more active and play, things off the cuff. It's like, Ron, you just told us that you wanted him to be a game manager. Now you're telling us you want him to go off the cuff. You can't have it both ways. I think Taylor Heineke is better off the cuff.
Yeah, he's still not good, but that's his skill set.
You're right. Great. He's a backup quarterback.
He is.
And Stoner, stop with the gonna get him hurt. It's football. If he doesn't want to get hurt, get off the field, bro.
I didn't say he doesn't want to get hurt. I'm saying as
physically going to get hurt.
You don't want him to get hurt,
bro,
and now you're going to Kyle Allen.
Oh, well, I'm good. Let's go to Kyle Allen.
You said the magic words there, Stoner. Our man Trev loves himself some Kyle Allen.
So
we love ourselves some George Carmi as well. Here. George, we want to thank you for jumping on with us. We have a couple more guests we're going to get in here.
Of course.
Real quick, let us know where our listeners can catch you at.
So, guys, you can find me on Twitter at gcarmy21. You could also find me and Trevor at the Full Press Coverage podcast. We'll be recording on Wednesday. Reach out to all of us. We're up for conversations. I love talking football all day long, and I really appreciate you guys having me. So, thank you for coming on.
All right, thanks, George.
Calling in.
All right, guys.
Like I said, we do have some more callers. In fact, we got one of our longtime listeners and friend of the show here, Josh Kirby. He's been waiting in the sidelines here. Want to make sure we
got pictures with everybody yesterday. I want to hear from him.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
He was having fun yesterday. He don't need to be on this show.
I'm surprised you didn't get a picture with Dan Snyder.
Yeah, he probably does. He probably didn't post it.
I saw just about everybody. It was a great experience watching Sean's number get retired. I know some people don't agree with how it went down, but all in all, seeing Sean Taylor's number get retired, that was ultimately very special to me, watching Sean Taylor grow up and watching Sean Taylor as I was growing up and seeing how electrifying his gameplay was. It was great to see. And all in all, my first game since 2017, and I really enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, you didn't get a picture with the Ref the District boys. We were out there. We saw Josh Taylor. We saw
where the heck were you?
We saw Farmer Key.
I wasn't there.
We were 101. We were
Jesse. We saw everybody there. We didn't see no Josh Kirby though. We
Well,
didn't get no photos.
Well, all I saw was Rio and Jalen from Bleeding Burgundy.
Jalen. Okay,
nice.
Yeah, I saw Rio and Jalen, and
I
was looking for more people, but by the time I was getting pictures with Theismann, John Allen, Chase Young, Kyle Allen.
Everybody. Kyle Allen. He's got a picture with Kyle Allen and not Taylor Heineke, if that tells you guys anything. Just saying.
Well, I asked Kyle, and he just was like, sure, man. I mean,
exactly, because he's the people's quarterback.
I know. I mean, it was really great. And just all the media who I've gotten on my podcast, too. I mean, it was great just seeing everybody.
Well, there's a flex for you. Josh flexing. All that media is
enough
always
for the
on the podcast.
Josh, to the game. Go ahead, David. Go ahead.
The one thing in particular I want you to answer, because I know that on one of your podcasts you kind of had the division covered. Okay, we have 07 here on our YouTube as we stream live. Cowboys running away with the division. This is something that we got into a discussion with on Twitter because Swaggy Chris Baker said, they got to they got to go make a run for Cam because they can win the division. And somebody on this podcast thinks that the 3 games down right now is too much. Do you think Washington is too far buried at this point in the season at 2-4?
No.
Well, to be honest with you, I think they're winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, that was sarcasm right there. No way.
Bro,
no, I got you all there. Now, I mean, there's got to be a change. Like George said, I really liked what he said about like they're just doing the short chunk yards, nothing major, no deep balls, and once again, Washington gave us fans a false sense of hope by leading at halftime because for sure, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to make adjustments. The Washington football team came out, no adjustments made, and we saw the end result.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So who wins the division based right now?
Oh, based on right now, who wins the division?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas is a complete football team. Dak Prescott lock him in for comeback player of the year. I mean,
nice.
he definitely will get it. And I mean,
he's hurt again.
They're just looking great. I mean, I hate to say it, but Dallas is looking like a complete football team. Trayvon Diggs is looking spectacular. I mean, Micah Parsons, you name it. I mean, Dallas is playing complete football, and they're up there. And based on my experience as a sports fan, just covering teams for my podcast, I feel like Dallas has the best shot right now.
Very true.
All right. Well, you heard it from Josh Kirby himself. Josh, thanks for joining us here on the day after Reckoning. And of course, you can catch him at KirbyOnSports.com. You mentioned his podcast a couple of times.
Yes,
and you catch him out on Twitter interacting with us as well. Thanks, Josh.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
Cool.
see you, buddy.
Is that somebody else?
We have one other person here. We do want to make sure that he's available.
Yeah,
There he comes. There he comes. Now this man, I'm really excited that we're having him on. Okay, I'm just gonna fanboy just a little bit. We're definitely we have to make Todd here big. This is Todd from Tay and Todd, and we talk about him a lot on the show because you guys do some amazing breakdowns. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Get over there and subscribe because they got some great content, and I'm eager to hear Todd speak to us about what he saw.
Yeah.
He still probably has to watch the 22, right? I imagine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
as you watch the game live, what did you see?
I saw an offense that doesn't have any sort of real cohesion. It doesn't have between the play caller and the quarterback, between the quarterback and the receivers. The running game is probably the best part. I just saw an offense that is lacking in cohesion. And so, if you don't, and then I saw an offense on the other side that was not lacking in cohesion. So it was like the ultimate mirror to look into, offensively at least.
We talked about this. Ellie was on earlier from WFT Declassified and with George from Full Press Coverage, and we kind of talked a little bit about were there guys running open? Were the receivers running open? And Nathan and I were there at the game, and we even talked about it at the game that when Heineke would go back to pass, there was like this collective buildup of people because they can see the guys wide open. And Taylor Heineke was dumping it, or he was running around, whatever. But is that a common theme throughout so far this year with Taylor Heineke?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. So I wasn't able to do a film breakdown of the Saints game, which kind of sucks because it was a really good one to do. But Game Pass is just, it has so many issues. It was just so hard. It was a rough week. I couldn't put up with it. But there was like the field goals they kicked from the 5 and the 6, both of those drives should have ended in touchdowns. There were so many missed opportunities against the Saints. Against the Giants, there were several, even with them scoring 30. So, yeah, there are missed out. And I imagine looking at the Chiefs game, their passing defense is bad. So I guarantee you guys were open. I mean, if you were there, I'm sure you saw it. But without having to see the all-22, I know guys were open. And the thing about Taylor Heineke is it feels like he plays his best ball when he has to come back from a deficit, and it's a more realistic deficit, right? It seems like when he has to just execute regularly first through third quarter, he can't do that consistently. So
that's really bad.
Yeah, and that's kind of what makes him a good backup quarterback. Is if the quarterback gets hurt and needs to come in and you're down, he can probably do something for you. But that's the difference between the backups and the starters, Yeah.
So what you're saying is the guy who everybody lauds as being this super smart guy who's taking quantum physics or whatever.
And don't win your football games.
When he gets out there, when he thinks, that's when there's a problem, when he's trying to execute the game plan. But when he's not thinking, when he's just reacting, that's when he plays his best.
Exactly. And that's what we've seen. That's what we've seen this season. His best ball has come from him just going out there, and it's like swagger. It's like confidence and swagger. When he has it, he can do great things, but he can't have that every game for all 4 quarters.
So Todd, based off the games we played already this season, it's kind of a broad question and kind of obvious question, but what specifically needs to happen for us to right this ship? At least to make us look like we gave a full team effort, we were in it to the end, and then we just came up short instead of just being blown out from the get-go. What needs to specifically change to start that righting of the ship?
Like as a whole, offense or defense? Just
defensively.
Defensively, yeah. So the first thing you have to do is you have to make at least one personnel change. I know fans are always much more critical, more quickly of players, of coaches, of everything, right? Like we want changes day one, but it's not hyperbole to talk about how terrible Landon Collins is and how much of a liability he is. And I have no, I'm not lacking for any confidence that the Shazer Everett or Jeremy Reeves will go in there and will be at least better. Like they won't be great, but will at least be better. That's the first thing you have to do, in my opinion, is at least make a change there. And then, I mean, from there, it's tough to know sometimes because why is William Jackson not covering well? Is that what they're asking him to do, or is it him? Because when he's in man, he doesn't seem to be covering all that well. Same with Kendall Fuller.
Yes.
So for me, I like the biggest personnel change is Landon Collins. Other than that, I hate when one thing they can do is they got to start running so much cover 4 because they don't have the safeties. Like Landon Collins can't be back there. That's a touchdown waiting to happen. And then they don't have the linebackers underneath to cover the field side to side when you got 4 people guarding deep. So in my mind, I'd like to see them run a little more single high, guard underneath more, and just have someone stay back rather than trying to worry about not getting beat deep and then you give up everything underneath. But we've seen them get beat both ways, so it's kind of a catch-22, right?
Yeah.
Very true. All I know is we gotta get Todd Redskins polo staff and get him on the sideline because my man knows his stuff.
I know. Right?
I'm just trying to learn. I don't know what it is. I love watching it though. I love watching all 22 sit there.
Can you answer on the offensive side real fast? What needs to happen to right the ship there?
Yeah. So one thing, and you guys talked about it, is like that commitment to the running game. So like Scott Turner, I can't be too critical of him because until I see him with the legit quarterback, it's like it's not fair. He's how many quarterbacks have started for him now? 7, 5, 7. So he does scheme guys open. So in the passing game, there are some things. For one, I don't know why they can't execute a successful screen play, especially running back screen. I don't know. Part of that seems to be blocking on the outside. Some of it seems to be timing. So that's something that needs to be like worked on more. And then the other thing in the passing game is I just don't love lots of his third down calls. They're the worst third down offense in the NFL. And I just don't love some of those calls where there are some plays, say if you call like 4, little spot routes where you just run 5 yards and you turn around. That play, if you don't hit it, like say that's what you call. That's what the play call is. 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 routes. That's what you call. If the quarterback doesn't hit it immediately or if it's covered, the play is like over, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not as compared to if you have crossing routes, and then you drop back and nothing's there, but then you roll out and guys are on the sideline. You know what I mean? But if everyone's 5 yards and everyone's covered, the play is over. And I seem to see that a lot on third down. So it's the third down play calling at times, which is evidenced by them being the worst on third downs. screenplays. And then I hate that they run so much on 2nd and long, and then just committing to the running game more, because Gibson is averaging over 4 yards a carry. He's just not getting enough carries, and it's like he's building up, but then he never gets going enough to break the long ones, because you don't see him break a lot of long. He gets 6 yards every time, but then they start throwing the ball. So, yeah, I'd say those things if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely it does.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you, Todd, for coming on. We're closing in on an hour at this point, so we appreciate you coming on. Again, Tay and Todd, you can check out their YouTube channel, hear more of this man's just breakdown, basic stuff.
Always looking forward to it.
Yeah, so we appreciate you coming out for us.
Thanks. I'm glad I could come on. Love your guys' show. The stuff y'all do is fantastic. I'm gonna steal some of your ideas. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Todd. Good to see you, bro.
Definitely.
Right,
good to see you, man. Have a good night.
All right, see you too.
See you.
Oh man,
I love Todd, man. I found him at training camp. He just latched on to my guy's good. All of our guests are good.
All of our guests. We had Josh out there. Jazzy giving some props to Josh, who was on George. We had Chris Farley. We had Ellie from Declassified.
Great
we appreciate all those. We appreciate those who come in. So we had 07 here in the chat. Calling the organization a mess earlier. Absolutely right. And we had Mr. Bland again.
Yep, we call him Mr. Bland.
What up, Mr.
Nice work,
Bland?
guys. Don't get to catch you guys much, but love the work here. Appreciate it. We appreciate everyone who jumps in. And it looks like the football addicts are.
What up?
Why are the football addicts in the comment section? Why are the DARs the day after reckonings always so sad lately? Right? That's not day after reckoning. It's the day after morning.
Yeah, we're
in the last couple of weeks. Four times this year they've been the day after morning. And it's not been good.
And what's the abbreviation for day after morning?
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Are we doing dollar recap today?
We might have to rebrand.
We'll have to do a dollar recap later. And we didn't even get to go-goes and no-goes because we had so many wonderful guests that came on. So we appreciate those who came on.
Long, can we?
Yeah.
Since we had guests.
Nothing else to do. Yeah.
we had guests.
What you trying to leave for, Nathan?
Yeah, why did you get your ass kicked in dollar this week? Is that why you're trying to?
I was not as successful in dollar. I was not as successful. All right, real quick. Okay, so if you guys have a choice, we got to keep these close to an hour.
Fair.
I'm going to allow you guys one. Either we pick go-goes and no-goes or dollar.
I think no-goes is going to be ridiculous. Let's do dollar because
dollar update. All right, so we have the board because I wasn't able to get to.
Yeah,
I was a little something after the game.
Inebriated, you can say it.
And and on Wednesday, I guess I'm gonna have to give my my whatever.
Prediction?
No,
your admission.
I'll do that
one. No, you said it on Twitter.
No, it's too long.
Give it tonight.
It's too long. I mean, it's not like 10 minutes, but we got to do dollar.
Don't do the dollar. We want to hear your admission.
I'm good with that. Let's do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll tweet out the dollar update.
Yeah, you said this on Twitter. Don't miss my admission tonight.
Okay.
All
right. I got to tune in on Wednesday.
I'm gonna do as quick as I can too. I'm not gonna get all long-winded and everything.
Oh God.
But I do have to set it up real quickly. I do have to set it up by saying when we started this podcast some 9 months ago or whenever it was.
Okay.
I kind of made a commitment that I was not going to be like the hot take guy. I was not going to be the guy who's just going to say anything just to get people in. I was not going to be a troll or anything like that.
People
right?
Going
because I kind of take pride in that what I say I truly believe it.
Okay.
So what happens is we get a lot of people. I try not to be a prisoner of the moment, but we get a lot of people everywhere who will say things like Terry McLaurin is the best receiver in the NFC East, or he's the top receiver. And I would like to believe that, but I try to keep that until I do all the research, right?
This better be good.
See, she's messing me up now. It's just going to mess up my whole thing. But anyway, the point is that I take pride in that I have my own theories and my own thoughts on everything that goes on. And I don't go with the
trendy stuff
and what everybody's saying. When people were saying Jamin Davis, this is in training camp, Jamin Davis is the odds-on favorite to be defensive rookie of the year. We heard that. We heard De'Ami Brown is going to get 60 to 70 catches, and I try to say, wait a minute, that sounds awesome, But what about everybody else in the league, right? What about all the other defensive rookies? What do you know about what they're doing? But anyway, so the point is, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit this. I got Ashburned this year. I got Ashburned. And
you got Ashburn syndrome?
For those who don't know what that is, Ashburn syndrome is if you get too close to what's going on at the headquarters of Washington football, which is in Ashburn, Virginia, you tend to just kind of think that everything is great. I got Ashburned into believing that this organization was on the right track, that everything is positive. It's a different year. The culture has changed. We've got the right people in place. We've got Jason Wright and Julie Donaldson and Ron Rivera. They are now the faces. Tanya Snyder's out there throwing and talking to the people, and Jason Wright is doing autographs and saying, and everything is honky. And I believed it, and I bought in. But you know what? This is the same old Skins. This is the same organization for as long as I've been a fan of it, and that sort of pisses me off. Not just in terms of the play on the field, but the front office is a disaster. And I don't want to, and this is not personal against Jason Wright or Julie or Ron, because I think they are high character people. I do truly believe that. But for whatever reason, no matter who you put there, no matter what coach, general manager, president, director of communications, whomever, it always turns to shit, no matter what. So
hey, bro,
I got Ashburned. I thought it was all different, but it's the same old Skins. There you go.
And
I just made an admission.
To tag along with that, I think the entire fan base got Ashburn syndrome just by, like you said, the way they're portraying the way the culture was at training camp and off season and on Twitter and this and that and bringing in. I think we all got Ashburn syndrome, and I think that's why we're all reacting different. Yeah, bro.
We talked about it. Right. We talked about it that day. The three of us met. That Nathan and I met Trevor.
Because it felt like it at training. It literally felt like, we're actually an NFL organization out of the 32 that's in this league. We're not the outcast. We're not the laughing stock of the league anymore. And then, we can't even get to the bye week before everybody's like, Saturday Night Live did a bit on us.
Yeah. When you're on Saturday Night Live, you're.
So, hey, Stoner, I'm with you. We all got Ashburn.
I got Ashburn.
The same thing with the field.
I try so hard not to do that. I tried to have my own thoughts and opinions and not let those sort of things sway me. But here we are. I got Ashburned. And I feel stupid for getting Ashburned.
The first step is admitting it.
That's right.
And you did. And I'm right there with you. I'll go to the loony bin with you, brother.
There you go.
We just appreciate that you're here with us and that you are a fan. And it's and as Washington football addicts, we can rock the red now to help smooth our aches and pains. So it is a thing. We're here together, and we're gonna keep doing this. In fact, we're gonna be back tomorrow for some Washington Wizards.
Yes.
Talk. If you're interested in that, catch us live tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll have Karita Banks and Chase Hughes on with us during that show, breaking down the Wizards season. And then Karita Parks. I'm sorry, not Banks. Karita Parks. And then on Wednesday, we'll be live 7 p.m. This is always, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And that is our normal show. And we have a Green Bay host that will be with us as well to talk about the Green Bay side of the house for the Washington football team.
We're going to win that game.
Upcoming. We got to do something. Yeah. We got to do something. You, of course, can catch us anywhere you listen to your audio platforms, that whether or not that be Apple, Google, Spotify, or Amazon. We're there, and we appreciate all the support we get. So thanks for all those who jumped in. I got a hand that's being raised.
That's tradition.
Yes, Mr. Stoner.
Just super duper quick. Having said all that, I will always still be a fan of this team, no matter what. I will never go to the Raiders or the Saints.
Why do you keep saying Raiders? There's other teams.
I'm just saying that may have happened.
We know why, recently. Right? There was a highlight for that, but
I'm just saying I'll never do that, no matter what.
Yeah. No. Why? Because until next time, be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are ref the district. Podcast. Come on now and join us. You join it.